You are sitting in a crowded room, listening to a group conversation. Everyone is laughing, nodding, completely swept up in the moment. But you are watching the quiet person in the corner. You notice the slight tension in their jaw. You catch the micro-expression of discomfort that flashes across their face for half a second. You see the invisible dynamics of the room that everyone else is completely blind to. But when it is your turn to speak, you overthink your first word. You hesitate. You stumble. The moment passes. You walk away feeling awkward, convinced you are just bad with people. You have spent years telling yourself that you are slow, or socially clumsy, or just not as sharp as the loud, effortless talkers around you. The quiet fear you carry every day is that you are simply falling behind. That your mind is a messy, tangled place while everyone else just naturally gets it. But what if that story is the exact thing keeping you small? What you call awkwardness is not a lack of intelligence. It is the heavy burden of deep processing. Your brain is absorbing 10 layers of reality while the people around you are only reacting to the top layer. You feel out of place not because you lack sharpness, but because you are playing a completely different game. And the reason it makes you feel so insecure is simply because nobody ever taught you how to carry the weight of your own mind. Before we look at the signs, there is one specific, exhausting mental habit you do every single day. It is the ultimate proof of how deep your mind actually goes. And it is probably the exact thing you beat yourself up for doing the most. It happens the moment you are alone. The conversation is over. The room is quiet. But your mind is suddenly loud. You replay every single thing you said. You analyze the tone of your voice. You dissect the 3-second pause before someone answered your question. You think to yourself, why did I say that? Why didn't I say the smarter thing? This is the quiet exhaustion of the highly observant mind. You feel like you are constantly lagging behind the conversation. While everyone else is just talking, you are translating, analyzing, and predicting. By the time you find the perfect thing to say, the topic has already changed. So you stay quiet. And then you feel stupid for staying quiet. You have probably accepted a very painful belief about yourself. You tell yourself you are just slow, or that your brain just doesn't work as fast as other people's. The silent fear is that you are fundamentally less capable in social situations. That you will always be the one left behind, nodding along, pretending you understand. But here is the uncomfortable truth about that mental replay. The problem is not that your processing speed is broken. The problem is that your brain refuses to accept the easy, surface-level answers that satisfy everyone else. It is a deep pattern, but it is not a pattern of weakness. And the reason it drains you so completely is because of a tiny, invisible filter you apply to every single word you hear. That filter is the need to be perfectly understood. Because your mind sees all the nuances, you assume everyone else needs to see them too. So when you finally speak, you make a very specific, very costly mistake. You over-explain. You state your main point clearly. Then, a split second of silence hits the room. In that silence, a quiet panic sets in. You think, they didn't get it. I need to clarify. So you add another sentence. Then another. You give the background, the context, the exceptions to the rule. Watch what socially grounded people do in that exact same silence. They state their point. The room goes quiet. And they just sit there. They let the silence do the heavy lifting. They know that if people need more, they will ask. But you have been carrying a heavy, unspoken belief. You believe that if you do not explain every single detail perfectly, people will think you are simple. So you bury your sharpest, most intelligent thought under a mountain of nervous context. You dilute your own brilliance because you are terrified of being misunderstood. And the cruelest part? The more you explain, the less authority you project. People stop listening. Not because your idea was bad, but because your delivery signaled that you did not trust your own idea. You have done this for so many years that it just feels like your personality. You think you are just being thorough. But there is a physical tell you do right before you start over-explaining. A tiny shift in your body that instantly tells the room to stop taking you seriously. And you probably do it 10 times a day without ever noticing. That tiny shift happens right in your nervous system. When you feel that urge to over-explain, your brain enters a state of high cognitive load. You are working too hard to find the perfect words. And that mental effort physically leaks out of your body. You might shift your weight from one foot to the other. You might break eye contact to look up and search for the next sentence. You might touch your neck or adjust your shirt. In psychology, there is a concept called thin slicing. It means human beings are wired to judge your competence in milliseconds. But here is the catch. They are not judging the actual words coming out of your mouth. They are judging how much physical effort it takes you to say them. This challenges a very deep belief you have held for years. You have always believed that if you just give people more details, they will finally see how smart you are. But the quiet, uncomfortable truth is the exact opposite. When you over-explain and fidget, you are not signaling high intelligence. You are signaling that your own brain is struggling to process its own thought. The listener's brain feels that friction. They subconsciously think that if you are this stressed about your own idea, the idea must be flawed. So they tune out. The reframe here is crucial. Your goal in a conversation is never to give them all the information. Your goal is to show them your mind is completely comfortable holding the information. But to do that, you have to stop that one specific physical leak. The one that happens right before you open your mouth. And once you learn how to freeze that exact micro-movement, something almost strange happens to the people listening to you. That micro-movement is your breath. Right before you speak, you take a quick, shallow gasp in. It is a tiny, invisible signal of panic. It tells your nervous system that you are about to step onto a stage and perform. Here is the practical trick. It is called the physical anchor. Before you open your mouth to share your thought, you do the exact opposite. You exhale. You plant both feet flat on the floor. Or you rest your hands completely still on the table. You freeze your body for just one full second. Then, you speak. The mini reframe here is powerful. You are not trying to act like a confident leader. You are simply letting your still body convince your racing brain that you are safe. When your body is still, your voice naturally drops. Your words slow down. The urge to over-explain completely vanishes. You stop trying to prove you are smart, and you just start being clear. I want to know where you are starting from today. Drop a number in the comments. 1 if you overthink every conversation. 2 if you over-explain your ideas. 3 if you physically fidget when you feel nervous. But here is the quiet fear you will face when you try this. When you pause and stay still, the silence will feel massive. Your brain will scream at you to fill it, terrified that people will think you have nothing to say. Let them think it. Because when you finally master that silence, you unlock the final, most powerful sign of deep intelligence. And it has absolutely nothing to do with how you treat other people. It has to do with how you treat your own thoughts when nobody else is validating them. In psychology, this is called having an internal locus of evaluation. It simply means you do not need the room to nod in agreement to know your idea has value. When you stop over-explaining, you stop begging for their approval. You state your piece. You hold the silence. And if they do not understand it immediately, you do not panic. You just let it sit there. This challenges a very deep, quiet fear you have carried for years. You have always believed that if people do not instantly react to you, it means you failed. But true social intelligence is realizing that their silence is not a rejection. It is just them processing the weight of what you just said. Imagine walking into your next group conversation with this exact shift. You feel the urge to rush your words, but you plant your feet. You speak from your conclusion first. You use fewer words, but you say them with absolute certainty. People will stop talking over you. They will start leaning in. Not because you became louder, but because you finally stopped shrinking inside your own skin. I want to know which part of this journey you are stepping into today. Drop a number in the comments. 1 if you get interrupted often. 2 if you explain too much. 3 if you speak too fast when nervous. 4 if you just want to sound more confident. Remember this the next time you feel ignored in a crowded room. The people who demand the most attention are rarely the ones holding the most power. If you want to keep mastering these quiet social dynamics, subscribe to the channel.